What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great week. Today I have a quick video for you talking about shoes and no shoes during lifting and really just in life in general. Some of you guys have probably seen some people out there in the gym lifting with no shoes, some people even running with no shoes, and just doing general fitness with shoes or no shoes or a minimalist shoe and whatnot, and have always wondered, why do they do that? Why is that important? Or, ooh, that's gross. Or, oh, I love my shoes. And those are all good questions and fair points, but like I said, I'm just gonna discuss a little bit of the benefits of both sides, especially if you're having some problems with your entire spine, your hips, your knees, your ankles, and maybe this is a way to fix that. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right, so first I wanted to get into a little bit of the question, why do we wear shoes? What is the purpose of shoes? You know, today there's hundreds of thousands of, you see some of the different variations here, and these are just athletic shoes. But, you know, just in general with shoes, there's so many different types, so many comfy types, so many minimalist types. Why do we wear shoes? And the purpose of shoes is really to just comfort the foot. You know, if you were to take a walk outside barefoot and you're not used to it, it's gonna be very uncomfortable. You step on a little pebble or a Lego, you're gonna be out for a decade. So really the purpose is just comfort. Now I know you're probably saying there's probably some people out there that have some genuine foot problems that need assistance, like plantar fasciitis, flat-footed, a problem with these arches. But I would look to argue with a lot of that a lot of that is created from shoes. I mean, it's really hard to tell because of how long we have worn shoes, you know, our entire life growing up. And our foot slowly starts to develop over time based on what we wear. It's very similar to a lot of different things. But if you look at, you know, the arch supports, the pads for plantar fasciitis and stuff like that, they just create additional comfort, additional positioning for your feet in order to help those problems out. Now, don't take my words the wrong way. I do believe there are people that genuinely need help with their feet, whether it's deformed or just, you know, some serious issues. But again, I would argue to say that a lot of people's foot problems are potentially generated from wearing shoes over the course of their lifetime that aren't properly fitted to their feet. For myself, I have always walked and run with shoes, but just that's because that's how you grow up. Really, as everybody has. If you run with a pair of shoes, you're pretty much safe from any kind of little pebbles or rocks or really the concrete surface itself. But also what that brings is a different type of running technique that has been deemed recently as not so appealing. And that's of course the heel strike. And I'm not gonna really get into that run technique itself, but just know that because of how the heel and really the entire sole of the shoe is constructed, all right, it allows you to hit the ground with your heel first and then roll forward. But what that creates is a lot of tension and pressure at the point of impact on the heel, driving all the way up through the spine, as you can see here in this diagram as the foot is moving completely forward. Without a shoe on, you're gonna run a little bit differently just because of how that meets your foot. If you look at some other countries out there that just don't wear shoes in general, some of these people can run very, very far distances on very unforgiving terrain barefoot with no issues, and really they grow up without a lot of issues within their knees and their ankles and their hips, and that's just because it is natural for the body. Anything that we provide for our body outside of what we are given naturally, it's unnatural. So it's gonna create unnatural tendencies, unnatural compensation, unnatural movements, unnatural protection. So our body's not gonna develop properly the way that we were designed to based on those crutches per se. Now again, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on shoes. I will run with shoes on, you know, forever because it's comfortable. But just understand that it does create a level of unnatural compensation and unnatural development. And especially depending on how broad you get with, you know, different types of running shoes, minimalist shoes, you know, just a flat sole and stuff like that. Now, if you're sitting there saying, no, it's no different between a balance of a, you know, with a shoe and my foot, because I have a, you know, this type of shoe or whatever, I you know, I urge you right now, pause the video, take a second, try and balance with your shoe on, and then take your shoe off and try and balance with your shoe off. And I guarantee you it's going to be a little bit different. Go ahead, I'll wait. I urge you that while you do anything with balance, to do it without a shoe on in order to build the muscles within your feet easily. Really, the majority of people out there that just wear shoes all the time, they have very, very weak feet. And what that leads to down the road is just weak ankles, weak knees, weak joints overall, and their hips as well, creating that minimal compensation over, say, a course of 30 years. All right, everything's going to travel up. There's, if you've checked out my intro video talking about my back and my hip surgery, a lot of my back issues are from my hip, and there's a lot of stories out there that talks about people that have knee pains have back pain, people that have ankle pains have knee pains, and it's just because it travels up. If you speak to any athletes out there, and really some athlete training physical therapists, a lot of their training consists on agility and really strengthening those tendons and those little muscles in the foot and ankles. And if you talk to anybody that does those type of exercises, they have had very minimal amount of injuries within their ankles and knees. And it's because they developed those strong tendons in their feet, their ankles, and then their knees over time because of those little exercises. All right, so the different types of shoes out there is a wide variety, and some of you guys may have seen the Vibrams over time. Those are those toe shoes. They're very minimalistic. They also do sell some regular minimalistic shoes out there with not the little toes. But if you go within like the CrossFit community or any kind of community that does Olympic type lifting and whatnot, you're going to see a lot of the Metcons. Really, it's any type of shoe that has this flat surface. All right. Not only do you want a flat surface, but you want a wide toe base. All right. And the wide toe base, not only does it just feel comfortable, but what it's gonna do a couple different things. And I can attest to this because I lifted before I had my Metcons. I lifted with a running shoe. All right. And what ended up happening is the toes started ripping out the side, and the reason why that happened is because the toe base was not that wide, and when I was squatting and pushing out, my foot was rolling, and my toes started to rip the side of the mesh. All right, but when you have a minimalist, wide-based shoe, all right, it's just providing an awesome, flat, strong, sturdy platform for your lifts, so that when you push, it's pushing on the surface. All right. But anyway, so you want the wide base for your toes because you want your toes to be in as natural a position as possible. You don't want them to be all squished up because, again, it's not natural. All right, it's gonna be painful for your foot, and that just causes issues. So you want enough room for your toes to kind of sit in that natural position, not squished up. All right, and then also out there that there are weightlifting shoes. All right, with they have a wood chuck underneath them. All right, and the purpose for these, all in all, it's almost the same thing. You can see it's a flat surface. It's got a generally wide base for the toes. The only difference is there is a elevated heel. All right, and the purpose of that, there's a couple different purposes. All right, people will tell you that the purpose is so that you can get lower. And that is true, but if you have flexible ankles and calves, you're not going to need to worry about getting deeper from a shoe because you're going to be able to get deeper naturally on your own. The thing with this is it raises your heels so that you can get deeper and go lower without stopping because you have non-flexible ankles, calves, glutes, hamstrings, and all of that. Okay. If you look in the background at the weight rack while I squat, you can see how much lower my knees get with the elevated heel. Because of my limited flexibility in my ankle, the picture on the left with the Metcons show that I cannot get deep enough because my heel is on the ground. Now the other purpose for not just the elevated heel, but the flat, hard, minimalist surface is if you were to wear a shoe like this running shoe right here with this soft, cushy sole, all right, what is the purpose of doing a squat with weight? What's the purpose? To go down and to go up. All right. And when you come up, you are pushing as hard as you can downward with your feet to go up. And if you push as hard as you can down, you want everything in your power to be working for you to get that weight up. But if you have a soft, cushy sole, when you push down to go up, initially you're going to be pushing into the sole before your body starts to go up. Now, if you were to stand flat-footed on the ground with just your bare foot, the minute that you push down in order to go up, your force is working directly for you because there's nothing to give. You are going straight onto your foot and it is working for you going straight back up. And again, that's the purpose of the minimalist shoe. And it's the same with this because it's a hard minimalist shoe on the inside. So as soon as you push down, the work is going up. All right, if you plan on attempting these techniques and trying out the no shoe lift or the no shoe run, understand, like anything, if you go from 0 to 100, you're going to cause a lot of pain and cause a lot of issues down the road. Again, everything travels up. So if you go out and you run a mile barefoot and you haven't done any kind of running barefoot, your feet are going to hurt for the next couple days. And what that's going to cause is mild compensation that is going to affect your ankles, affect your shins, affect your knees. And again, it's any kind of thing that gets irritated during that first activity. So again, with your lifting, if you want to start implementing shoe-free lifts, I don't recommend going to the gym and doing all of your lifts with no shoes. No, go into the gym, do your first set or first lift with no shoes, and then put your shoes back on, do the rest of your workout, and then the next time you come in to do that lift, try 2 workouts or 2 sets, and then go forward like that. And it goes same with running. If you want to attempt no shoe running, again, slow baby steps, 100 meters. See how your feet feel, see how they callus. All right, and then move on from there. Hopefully you guys don't think I'm trying to talk anyone out of wearing shoes. Both sides definitely have their benefits depending on who you are. I just think there are a lot of benefits for people, especially that are having some problems with their body, their back, their hips, and all that kind of stuff, to look into potentially doing a little bit more activities without shoes on in order to strengthen the feet back up and hopefully help out the rest of their body. Shoes do provide some support, and especially for sensitive feet, and they look cool, but and I understand that you have to wear shoes out to your at your job and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the video and got a lot out of it. Let me know in the comments down below if there was anything that really struck a chord, really stuck out to you, or if I missed anything, let me know. All right, with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.